He didn't come up and then.
So we'll call the meeting to order. And the first thing on our agenda today is to swear in. The swearing in ceremony.
All right, so if David and Ally haven't done yours yet, so if y'all both stand, I made it a little easier
Oh,
with the
yeah.
oath up there where y'all.
Things.
She can look at it because it's a little weekly, so we can do it a little quicker. So, raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Ally Audette,
I do Parker.
And y'all can say it together.
do
Do
solemnly
solemnly swear, affirm,
that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the Planning Zone Commission of the Town of Tooele Falls, Georgia. I will not knowingly permit my vote to be influenced by fear, favor, affection, or reward in all things pertaining to my office. I will be governed by the public good and the interests of the town. I will observe the provisions of the charter, ordinances, and regulations of the town of Tooele Falls. And I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States of Georgia and the United States of America. I am not the holder of any office of trust under government of the United States, any other state, or any foreign state, which I am prohibited from holding by the laws of the state of Georgia. I am not the holder of any unaccounted for public money due the state or any political subdivision or authority therefore. I have been a resident of the town of Tooele Falls for more than 6 months and am otherwise qualified to hold this office by the Constitution of the laws of the state and the charters and ordinance of the town of Tooele Falls. Like, yeah. You guys know?
Good work.
Yeah.
well, that was really easy for me. Done that years ago.
Right, if you guys want to take a look at the agenda, if I can get a motion to adopt that.
And second.
And then we also have the minutes from the November 29th meeting, if you want to look over those. You guys don't have any problems with it, we'll get a motion to adopt those. Or approve those.
Motion to, okay, it's.
All right, we don't have any old business, but our new business this month is to nominate a chair. For the chairperson position. I'm gonna nominate Sissy again, if you guys.
Yeah,
are
she
okay with
was,
that. She was,
on chair before.
Okay.
If she's okay with you.
I told her she didn't get nominated, but she's not here.
she was good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Am I allowed to nominate?
You nominated, but you still need a second. Nobody else.
Okay, and then a vice chair,
Which one of you two wants that, Tom?
You're new to this, or
I'm new to this,
I'm
yes.
new to this too.
Perfect. Um,
Throwing things up.
Salt.
I really don't want. I think this
Yeah.
is fun.
yeah, I mean, I can.
the vice chair only fills in for Sissy if she's not here.
Okay, I mean, yeah,
That's pretty accurate, isn't it?
But if she had to resign for any reason, or she's not here,
Okay.
then that person would have to chair the meeting.
I can do that. That's fine. Or do you have to like, I don't know how it works.
What's your name?
Ally.
I'll nominate Ally.
I'll second.
And then we need to set our 2024 meeting schedule. So right now, we are the second Wednesday of the month at 6 o'clock.
Correct.
Would Tuesdays be okay? I usually drive to Atlanta on Wednesdays, but I can change my work schedule. If,
I'm very flexible. I can do pretty much anything.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter to me. The only thing I would ask is if we could get a week notice before a meeting. This one here came up pretty quick, I think.
Well, that's if you have a regular schedule,
Yeah,
then
When
we
any-
just cancel if you're not gonna have.
any flyby meetings or anything that comes up, if I could get a week, it'd be awesome.
But yeah, it's not set in stone, whatever, is
Second Tuesday?
the most convenient
Yeah.
for you guys.
I could do second Tuesdays, yeah.
Tuesdays are, might be one of my great days.
Yeah.
Is 6 o'clock still the best time or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like some Tuesdays in the winter, I do basketball games, but we've had a lot of away games this year, so we're okay.
Well, we're gonna plan to have one every month. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Or is this just in case we need to have one?
Well, we set the schedule and then we cancel if we don't need it.
Every
Okay.
second.
And double checking with your chair.
And Mondays too, I'm sorry.
Mondays, I know the fire department has their trainings. And then DDA meets
We're the third Tuesday,
third Tuesday.
so y'all doing second Tuesday week.
Still think we probably should be in front of the city council meetings in case we have any public hearings or anything that can kind of go together and not have to wait a whole nother month to get back.
And that usually works out. There's one month
Like next month, I think it's.
that it's
Right.
flip flops because the second
Calendar.
Thursday, there's not a second Wednesday before the second, and there wouldn't be a second Tuesday either before the second Thursday. So we'll have council first, but I think it only happened one time for this year when I was looking at it.
She did with that too.
She hadn't answered you. Y'all can go ahead and go to open floor discussion if there's
We need to make a motion on that or?
on the meeting schedule, yes. I didn't know if you want to wait.
Oh, okay. We'll come back into that, and have open floor. Does anybody have anything they want to discuss?
Anything you want us to discuss for future meetings or?
Go ahead.
So my big, one of my big things right now is, with Georgia Power and the substation they're putting on the other side. So I would like planning and zoning to maybe have some requirements for, screening, substations or anything really that was of a nuisance view. I know other cities do this, screening could be, shaded fencing like they've done on this side, and they may do that. But I think we're in the middle of hydroelectric central, so I think more substations in the future will come, so if something is in place, that maybe Georgia Power might respect that, and maybe they will do that anyway. But, screens, landscaping, there's, examples of different city, ordinances and all where they do have things like this in place. So it's not preventing them from doing what they can do, but it's just protecting visuals for, like, for me, it's me, the Y Camp, and anybody who goes up Y Camp Road. It looks like a different place these days. Lots of trees gone, lots of gravel.
I think that's a good idea.
I mean, it could be for parking lots and all kinds of other stuff. I mean, to include something like that, but there's gonna be a parking lot ever next to you or so just to protect, residential people from visual nuisances.
I've seen that and the problem with Georgia Power is like they don't even get a permit. So I'll have to see if there's,
I found something in East Point earlier where they have it in their ordinances, so I think.
for substations or.
Yeah, for substations, and I think other cities have similar things, so I'm not sure. I think Georgia Power can do certain things, but there's ordinance, and does Georgia Power have to, they can put their substation in, but they might have to be required to follow, and this, I don't know,
Yeah.
to follow certain things. They can't just come and do.
Yeah, it's something we can definitely check on.
keeping it beautiful, you
Mhm.
know, love it here because of the trees and nature and.
If you came across an ordinance that you liked, that may be something to bring back for
Yeah.
you guys to review, you know,
Yeah.
the next time and.
Yeah, as the internet goes, it's so hard to find anything, but, really what you want, but, I found one, I think it was legitimate, it's like East Point College Park, but without going too far down the rabbit hole.
And what do? They just pay for it to like make it look pretty?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Georgia Power might, they could be willing to do that, but just finding who you need to talk to at Georgia Power, so if there's something in place,
That's the
have
real trick.
it in place.
The real trick is finding the right person to talk.
Yeah, like 4 years of it.
All back and forth.
Scratching, and, I found one guy, that regional guy who's a nice guy, communicative, and he reaches out to the people I need to talk to, just about what's been going on around my house.
Okay, that's good.
Hadn't made the noise any less, but
Yeah.
Jeremy Spratt, his name, but I can look up some stuff, like examples in the next meeting.
Sissy said, okay, and she apologizes, she thought she'd be able to make it back. She'll be good.
It's okay, tell her we got a vice chair now.
All right, so do you know what ever happened with the construction noise ordinance? Did that ever go to the council or discuss that?
I know they mentioned it, but it
Yeah.
didn't go any further than that.
Right,
Because they said that we had some examples for them to look at, and then that was.
Yeah, we
it.
wrote it up to just stick in there.
Mhm.
I think they were gonna try to workshop that, they need to workshop several things that y'all sent up to them, so now that we have our new people in place, maybe we can get some workshops scheduled, so I'll mention that to Mike and see if we wanna do that. You know, which one they wanna tackle first, because I think we've got signs, that one, and trees. I think that's,
Yeah, it's released now.
So my
Load them up. Load them up this year.
yeah. Another thing, I would like to see y'all take on is, so many people are working from home, you know, after COVID, things kind of changed as far as having a home office or working from home or whatever, and some people need a business license for one reason or another. And we have that as like a home occupation, as a conditional use in zoning.
30% of the
But-
homes, that is.
But I would like to see it where if you're not meeting with customers, people that, you know, for all intents and purposes, have no idea that have any kind of business going on in your
Basically,
house.
online communications, things like
Yeah,
that.
I mean, you're not having customers come in, you're not meeting with people, you're just running. an
Now, would
office
that be
from
a
your
separate
house.
license for something like that, or what?
Yeah, I mean, where you could get a business license, but you wouldn't have to go through a zoning process to get conditional
Mhm.
variance to do that. It just seems like overkill for somebody that just wants the home office, you know?
So we would need to come up with something besides the one we already have that just simplifies the process a little bit.
So just for somebody that's working from home and no customer facing interaction.
Yeah, basically a permitted use in an R1 district or whatever, not a conditional use.
But it would be it would be a permit, but it would be the same permit that people get.
Yeah, it'd be the same.
Oh, would.
There's just, you know, like, there could be a section that said, is this a home?
Like I can't run a hair salon in my house. Yeah, I mean.
You can actually, I think, with the state of Georgia has a license where you can have a home hair salon.
Yeah, but our zoning is different depending on what zoning district you're
Okay,
in.
yeah.
So there are some things like daycares that you can do, but you can't have your home office. Yeah, so that's what I would like to see y'all look at that and see if we can add.
Why would it daycare? Because you still have to pick up and drop off thing versus another type of business in the home.
That's what I mean. I mean, it's just changed so much, you know, where before maybe a home occupation and then it's something different than it does now, you know, because so many people are doing it now.
If you have one or two people drop by a day, no big deal, but if you have like, 20 or 30 people, and then daycares have popped up in neighborhoods and became, or schools, even private schools, and they've said, oh, we'll never expand, and they do expand, and then you've got, traffic and all this stuff, which is, sometimes this is in the city, and so there are, once you open that door there, and if people say, oh, women will never grow, then in the future, things change, they will grow, things change.
So maybe we can just look at that, part of our ordinance and see if we can do something. People request them. and-
Yeah, because you need to get it to be able to go to the mart and stuff like that.
Mhm.
For business customers.
And it'd be more revenue for the town too.
Sure. $50.
$50.
$50.
It's not based on the amount of revenue they generate. Okay, might be something else to look at there, like what I pay for my business license, it's how much I generate. income.
Yeah, some cities do it
Business,
based on.
business tax. basically.
We want to encourage businesses, so try not to penalize them, but.
Yeah,
Penalize them for making more money.
Yeah. That's all I have. All right, so y'all can go back to your motion for the meeting.
Yeah, I need somebody to make a motion for the second Tuesday at 6 P.M. scheduled for every month. Unless we send out an email in advance saying we're going to cancel.
I'll make the motion.
I second it.
I'll draw it up.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have anything else? Do you guys have anything? Y'all?
I was just gonna ask about the tree ordinance, but that's still on the table. Yes, you mentioned all the things that you're waiting on the city council to look at. That's my only question.
And as far as like what we talked about on a November meeting, and we, gave our recommendations to the council or whatever, and then they sort of decide from there. So what was the outcome? Like, did they, do you know?
So they took what your concerns were on the transfer developments rights ordinance and made a lot of changes to the ordinance. But they did go ahead and pass that,
Okay.
instead of creating a new district, for a variety of reasons, but
Okay.
they, Mike Arkshot, who was your, chair last month, is now on the city council, and he confirmed that those, changes to the ordinance, addressed, what the concerns were that you all had put out and some that I had put out. And so I think they got it. It's still a complicated thing, but it's like today I was, working on the application and everything, and the more you read it, the less complicated it gets, but, on first read, it gets, it's kind of
I think about that.
seems complicated, but I don't think, number one, I don't think there's gonna be that much of it. Number two, it's something that, the council can do for as long as they, wanna do it, and if they find that there's no reason to have it, then, it's easy to repeal, at some point if we don't need it anymore, so.
And all that's on our the town hall website.
Yeah, it will be. I think it already is actually already sent to Municode, so applications are not there yet. They are supposed to be ready by tomorrow.
On that note, on that one, I just don't understand why it didn't just do a variance on the zoning to allow that instead of changing the whole thing, this whole transfer of rights, just keeping that track of that over the years. And with the vast amount of land that's up the mountain, it could shift a lot of, I know the council has to approve these things, but it opens up, I think, Pandora's box for the future, having that in place. And why not just address one thing at a time instead of now you have this whole area where you can shift around development rights and, you know, add density in one end, so it could crowded by the lake or more crowded up the mountain and a whole.
But you,
window.
you can't transfer to another R1 property.
But we just.
So that eliminates
Yeah, that's,
the whole mountain, eliminates,
except for that was R1 down there that they changed to R2. Right?
mhm,
And then you can transfer, so if you get one slab. You know, up to R2. Then you can start shifting those rights out, those R1s down to, I mean, does the R1? Anyway, it just seems like a big shell game, and it seems like it was more direct just to approve this one thing. Instead of opening up something for the future or some,
yeah, you couldn't do it with a variance, so they had to
You
come
have
up
it.
with a different.
they're gonna change, but but there'll still be a shift of transfer of development rights on that, property,
From the R1 cabin properties to the R2
yeah,
lake property.
yeah. Yeah, and so there'll be R1 cabin, so there's gonna be a single and multi kind of family,
No, it'll be
Okay.
same thing.
just, they'll all be single cabins.
Mhm.
Okay, I
There'll
thought,
be it's gonna be like one condo, but they're considered single family residents.
okay, but it'll be like a strip of it.
Well, no, I'm talking about the cabins, not the ones
Yeah.
on the lake, but the ones before you get to Hickory Nut
Uh-huh,
on the right. So those are gonna be single family cabins.
There's 4 of them.
And then on the lake, that is the townhomes.
But where the cabins are, that's state R1, right?
Yes.
Yeah, only that one parcel.
Mhm.
That's-
and I know bits and pieces, so I was just kind of like, this seems weird.
All right. Anything? else?
Does anybody have anything to add on? New business.
Yeah, somebody want to make a motion to adjourn? Okay, can you give a second?
Second that.
Okay. That's 6:24.
Thank you.